do what I do.
Reparations. So it's redefining what it means to be black in America. And the thing is, with such a large proportion of New York black population now composed of immigrants, traditional notions of black unity are being re-examined. This whole Pan-Africanism, it was once seen as unifying, it's seen as a unifying ideal, is now being critiqued for failing to produce reciprocal solidarity or economic advancement for foundational black Americans. This can't be one-sided. That's what we're saying. And since it has been, now there's a growing discourse about the need for delineation and specificity when addressing black American issues and recognizing both shared racial struggles, but very distinct historical legacies. You see? Now, I'm gonna let y'all look at some videos because that's what I do. And we're gonna talk about some things that's gonna be hard on the ears, but y'all check this out. Hit the #1 button.
Hey man, I do what I do.
Use the word African American for okay. We're just gonna use the word African American for descriptions. But if you don't have you know what? Fuck all that. If you don't have an ancestor that you can trace back to a slave plantation, you're not African American. Sorry. Good morning. Do with that information what you please. There's no such thing as a first generation African American. There's no such thing as a first generation African American. There's no such thing as a first generation African American. I'm tired of explaining this to y'all. You can't just fucking come up with.
Sir, you're very sassy, but still, watch your language. These are all people in the New York area who are commenting on what we're talking about now. This is erasure. This is erasure up close and personal.
You don't get it if you want to say that you're a first generation African American, because if you say that, you clearly just kind of lacking a little intelligence. It don't make no fucking sense. Okay.
You know what the issue is with foreigners of color coming to the U.S. calling black Americans lazy? Because when they land in America, the only place that they can afford themselves to live in at is in the ghetto, and which is luxury to some of them anyway. However, they did not give themselves a chance to get on their feet to move amongst African Americans who are successful, living in mansions, children are in private school, and you know, they just misjudge us based on the area that they were only able to afford to live in when they first come to America. When you move in the ghetto, those are the type of people who you're gonna meet. You have some who work every day, get up, take their children to school, go to work, come home, pick their kids up from school, and then you do have the ones who lives off of Section 8 and welfare, and you have people who are foreigners and Hispanics as well as black Americans who are on those government programs. Stop judging them.
All right, so let me run that back. What the young lady is saying is when these immigrants get to America, the only place they can afford to live is with the unacculturated blacks. I mentioned this earlier in a broadcast. I explained that when you compare the top 10% of immigrants, blacks, to the top 10% of foundational black Americans, we blow them out the water. The average top 10%er in the foundational black America, we make $100,000. We make over $100,000. The average African, Nigerian specifically, they crack somewhere between 80 to 100,000. That's the median. The average Caribbean, their top 10% only makes between $60,000 and $70,000. So foundational black Americans are blowing them away with political influence, land ownership, wealth, and yearly earning capacity. But they insist on comparing themselves to the people around them, and that's typically poor black people in the ghetto. And so when they start saying stuff like, we're doing better than them, you compare yourself to regular black folks. Shout out to Life Mo Abundantly. You're not even comparing yourself to the top 10%. When you compare apples to apples, foundational black Americans are blowing immigrants out the water. I did a broadcast on that. Check it out. Let's keep listening.
So many black Americans have left New York. And according to this map, yo soy dominicano también. Let's get into it. Yes, because the street that my mom grew up on, which is 152nd Street right here, and the street in which my dad spent much of his young adult years right here on Riverside, is now called Little Dominican Republic. Azalea Banks and Todd also grew up on 152nd Street between Ashton and Broadway. I don't know them, but my cousins know them. Today, New York has a huge Dominican population, so it's not surprising that a neighborhood would be named Little Dominican Republic. Even though there's no official boundary from Harlem, Black Harlem has historically been 155th Street to 110th Street, river to river. Realtors have recently renamed this area Manhattanville to appeal to white newcomers, and Morningside Heights is no longer referred to as part of Harlem. This is historically a Black American neighborhood. Even Ralph Ellison, the author of The Invisible Man, has his monument in the neighborhood. Now, the reason why they're claiming that so many of us are leaving New York is because we're so poor that we can't afford to live there anymore.
African Americans, their income have only increased by, say, $5,000. That's a very small number when you look at how the cost of living have increased.
So now they're saying you all are broke. They're saying you black folks, you Black Americans are broke. You're too poor to live in New York. That's why you move. You're too poor. Just look at the insults. Let's keep listening.
Over that last 10-year period. And so New Yorkers, at least African American New Yorkers, it's just a matter of income stagnation. They have not been able to keep pace with society. They have not been able to keep pace with rent.
Because, of course, you know, that sounds like some white supremacist rhetoric. We don't, we're too poor to live in New York. Our family members are from North Carolina and we just moving back home. But this is the subtle digs that Black Americans have to deal with. This woman is saying this on, you know, for the public to see. So imagine what's going on in New York proper. Let's keep listening.
Mortgage, with the cost of food and just the cost of living overall.
It's beautiful to see so many communities of color flourishing in New York, but when are we going to start talking about the real reason why so many Black Americans are leaving?
The real reason they don't want to live around all those immigrants.
As a New Yorker, I've noticed a fewer Black Americans around. I heard many have moved down to the Carolinas, sometimes even Georgia or Florida. But damn, I don't be seeing my people, hearing them. I don't know what happened to y'all.
Shout out to TIQ. Yeah, we know what happened.
That probably explains why niggas from New York these days be sounding like this. Watch this. Yo, what a bro, what a heart, bro, what a man's, bro. Yo, what you talking all crazy stuff? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? You talking all that? What you talking about?
You hear that? I want you to understand. Okay, and we're gonna go somewhere, and y'all don't even know where I'm about to take you guys, but we're about to go on a rocket ship in a minute, and we're gonna revisit something well in the past. Shout out to Sonia C. And I'm going to help you see something with some new lenses on that you didn't understand. Everybody who's been listening, when was the Immigration Act passed? 1965. It was slow. But then by the 1970s and 1980s, what happened? You had all these immigrants began to flood New York. Okay? All right. I want you to keep listening. Keep on listening. All right. And what is this gentleman saying? The dudes in New York don't sound like they're from New York. Remember I told y'all earlier, my people are from Mississippi. And so that's why I don't necessarily sound like I'm from California. Shout out to V4 Visions, because I have their accent, their culture, and their ways. You remember that? That's why you don't see me out here talking like this. What's up, homeboy? Yeah, it's going to be hella hot. That's a new generation stuff. I talk like the people who I learned this, who I spoke with as a baby. You see what I mean? I eat the food. I had some collard greens last week, baby. Uncle D don't miss no meals. I need to work out a little more. But I'm just saying, you're going to be around here, we're going to eat good. All right? Let's keep listening.
Wait, you talking about, you mixy, you talking about, what a bro, what a man's bro. Look at you lacking this and that. Your bitch made me clap. You talking about, you know what I'm saying? What a bro, what a heart.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're cosplaying what they think is a New York Black person. All right? But look back in the 1960s and before the 1960s, how did Black Americans speak when they were in New York? Did they speak like that? Yeah, they didn't. No. Okay? That's something else.
What am I hard, bro? You know what I'm saying? You talking all this, that. What a bro, what a heart. What am I heart? What am I mans? What you talking about? Yo, what a bro, what a bro. Yo, you slap shot, you this and that. You know what I'm saying? I catch you like by the throat. What you talking about? What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You talking all crazy, this and that.
Ever since immigrants took over the rap scene, it seems like pirates invaded New York. Bro, I swear, look.
Ever since immigrants took over the rap scene, All right.
Everybody in New York these days be sounding like they pirates. They sound like they from like Toronto or some shit. Like, that's the one thing I noticed. I promise you. Niggas back in New York did not sound like that 10 years ago. Not even 20 years ago. I don't know where the fuck this shit came from.
No.
They be sounding like that these days, so I be irritated.
I went to school at Grambling State University, and the year I got there in 1992, we had the highest incoming freshman class ever. It was over 7,300 people in North Louisiana and Grambling State University. And we had people from everywhere. And the New York people I went to school with didn't sound like that. You understand? And most of them could trace their roots back to Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and so on and so forth, because the immigrants hadn't quite set in, and many of them were first-generation immigrants.
What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D.
People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You were tuned in to Uncle D. D's Black Man Talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something and you earn something. And let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta know this. 9 black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. 9 black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. 9 black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. 9 black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.